So you've made it to the end. I just wanted to go over, do like a quick overview of everything that you've accomplished here. So I'm going to share my screen with the last slide. And this will be the last slide in your PowerPoint that I've up. There's a lot on this slide, but this slide says everything I would like to say to wrap up. So basically what's going on here is everyone sees the problem. That's the same wine that I talked about at the very beginning. We all see the wine. Everyone has their own theory about the wine. That's the different bottles, is their own different theories, but it's all the same. It's all this guy with this dog. So the neurotic dog ruins relationships. It hates you. He bites and destroys things in your life. So every psychological theory knows that there is this destructive part of you. They call it different things. So in Camp 1, as far as I've seen, there's just pretty much 2 camps. There might be a 3rd camp. I haven't really, I can usually put people in 1 or 2, either Camp 1 or Camp 2. But again, they're not against each other. They are the same wine. They both see this guy and this dog. Camp 1 is Freud and Jung type people. I was just watching Nietzsche goes into Camp 1 as well. Like every philosopher I watch or psychologist I watch on YouTube, such a plethora of information about different philosophers. You can look at them and go, Camp 1, Camp 2, Camp 1, Camp 1, Camp 2, Camp 1. It's really easy to do if you've been through this program like you have. So the dog goes by many names: the ego, the shadow, the idealized self, the false self, neurotic behavior. And that is the different labels. So they all see this same wine, this guy and his dog, and they put a different label on it. They name it. Everyone likes to name their own wine, because then they go down in history, and then they're in their search for glory. They want their name in the psychology books. They want to put their stamp on it. They change it a little bit. They do it their way, or they see it. They're genuinely saying, I see it this way, and putting their label on it. But it is the same dog. It's the same mean-ass dog that's destroying your life. Not all of them will say that. They'll say it's destructive to relationships. It's self-sabotaging. It's projecting. It's, they've got a list of things that this dog does, and none of them are good. So we have, in the 2nd camp, we have Horney, who you just read, and Adler. Alfred Adler says something very similar to what she's saying. And psychology really sides with her. Now, having said that, we are talking about everyday run-of-the-mill neurosis. We are not talking about clinical neurosis or any clinical diagnosis like schizophrenia, nothing like that. Those are clinical diagnoses. This is just the average person neurotic behavior type diagnosis, because psychology actually goes back and forth to both camps. Psychology for this diagnosis, they stay in Camp 2. It came from nature, from nurture. It came from society. It came from childhood, built it. But for the clinical diagnoses, some of those clinical diagnoses they'll put into Camp 1. You're born with it. Camp 1 is you're born with it. You're born with that dog. That dog is you. And then Camp 2 says you conjured up the dog. Your imagination did, for protection. You're trying to protect yourself, so your imagination created it to protect you from childhood trauma. Nurture. It's a nurture defense. The old nature versus nurture, this is it. And then, but psychology puts this particular diagnosis that we're talking about, just general neurotic behavior, in Camp 2. But psychology puts some clinical diagnosis into Camp 1, like you're born with schizophrenia. You're born with it. Depression symptoms, like severe depression. You're born with a chemical imbalance. Those type of things psychology puts into Camp 1. Just know that that's not what we're talking about here. On this topic, psychology slides into camp 2. Now, let's look at the different bottles that they're in. Besides nature or nurture for this diagnosis, the different bottle or solution for camp 1 is to, because it's yours and it's always going to be yours, you better love it. Love the dog, train it, listen to it. It's part of you. Learn how to cope with it, integrate it with it, to tame it so it's not so destructive. It is real. There are 2 of you. There's your real self. There's your they would say that your subconscious self and your ego self, your outward self. And there's 2 of you. You need to integrate together to become whole, to become one with it, to be balanced, like the yin and the yang represents this as well. You know, the white and the black circles together. You've got to bring the negative and the positive together to become whole, to become holistic. And this is also the reason why you see a lot of New Age philosophies based in Camp 1. They're trying to become holistic. They want to become whole. They want to integrate the ego self or the shadow with the real self. They want to stop the conflict. So they have developed from Jung into these solving this problem by loving yourself. And it sounds really pretty. It sounds a lot, you know, it's just nice, sweet. Tame the dog, you know, he's there to protect you. He helps you. The ego helps you. It's your personality. Learn to tame him, tell him how to sit. But the problem is he never quite does it. He keeps tearing your shoes apart and biting the old lady next door. So here's Camp 2. That's my personal opinion, obviously. Camp 2 is, this is their bottle or their solution. The dog is not you. It is created by your imagination. Take it to the vet, the therapist, or your therapy, whatever therapies you choose. And I'm giving you, in my next classes, that's my goal, is to make sure you get the therapies that work, that are the fastest, so we can get this job done exponentially, expedite this job that we've got to do. I'm filtering through some that work and some that work for Camp 1 that we can change and make them more Camp 2-ish to help Camp 2 out. They don't have very many strategies in Camp 2. And then, so you take it to the therapist and you have it put down before it kills the real you and destroys your relationships. Put it down. Get rid of it. It's imaginary. It's a lie. There is really only one of you. You don't need the dog. You'll be just fine without a protector. You're strong enough. I know you're vulnerable. I know the real self is vulnerable. And so this is scary. It scares most people to go, I can't get rid of the dog. The dog is the only reason that I make it through each day. But yes, you are vulnerable, but you have the skills to be okay. You don't need a dog anymore. And we talked about forgiveness and love. Those are really powerful skills. And I so encourage you to, I know you've tried Camp 1 before because it's all over the place. It's every solution you've ever gone. If you're on the path to enlightenment, you've seen it a million times. So my call to action for you is to try Camp 2 for a while and see what you think. See which one's more productive in your life, which one creates real inner peace, love, feelings, range of feelings, a sense of security. Those things are in Camp 2, and I want them for you. I want them for me. I'm working really hard to get them for myself. And in the process, hopefully, no, hopefully we will close the gap on this. This isn't bridging. We're not trying to bridge the gap. We're closing the gap. Enough already. You know, it's time for a change. So I encourage you to take classes and courses from Camp 2, or I have a series. This is my mission in life. This is all I do. So my courses are definitely honing in on Camp 2, and we're going to get the best of the best for you because you deserve it. This planet deserves it. It's time to live in heaven and get out of hell. It's time to live in peace of mind and joy. Those are found here. It's time to live in that and to step out of fear. And the world of the AI. Let's step into reality. You are the one in the Matrix where he's the one. You are Keanu Reeves. And I'm trying to help liberate you. I'm giving you the tools for you to step out and be the person you're supposed to be on this planet, because we need you. You may be the person who is going to solve a problem. Maybe you'll solve world hunger. I don't know. Or maybe you'll solve something small that leads to something. Maybe you're the greatest, you're the most enlightened mom on the block, and you help that child that is supposed to solve world hunger. You know, you're contributing. We all are contributing a small piece into the larger puzzle. One person is not going to solve world peace. It's, you know, it's going to take all of our little pieces together, and then it'll spring out of that. But we need you to contribute your piece. That's the problem. No one's contributing their pieces. Or we've got a handful of people contributing pieces, and it just can't get done that way. We need more. We need 25%. That's my hypothesis. Maybe we only need 10%. I don't know. I'd like to see 10%. I'd like to see 2% if you want to know the truth. So join us, learn the magic, start healing, and thank you for following us on this journey. I'm so proud of you. You don't even know. So I will see you soon. Take care.